It's funny. So I'll talk to you about my history, but yeah, I mean, stress is a problem. And in 2016, the World Health Organization dubbed stress as the health epidemic of the 21st century. And in terms of GP visits, 70% of them are thought to be stress related. So stress is a huge problem and one that we're not managing very well. And it was one that I didn't manage very well during some of my kind of time as a doctor. So the turning point was me hitting burnout. For a long time, I was kind of on this trajectory, feeling quite stuck and quite trapped. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved being a doctor, but I knew inside of me that it wasn't my final destination, that there was something beyond that I wanted to do. But I didn't, because of fear, and a lack of self-belief and a lack of confidence, I just kind of kept going through the motions on that treadmill. Little did I know that I was going through these episodes, and I kind of thought, I was like, what is wrong with me? I'd be going through these episodes of feeling kind of down, a bit hopeless, teary, drinking too much, not sleeping well, very low mood. And then I'd come out of these episodes and think, oh, what was that about? Kind of dust myself off, crack on. Never took a day off work though, ever took a day off. And I was thinking, because I've got quite a complicated childhood history, I was thinking maybe it's to do with that. Little did I know I was experiencing high functioning depression, and this continued. And then it went on, and as I got further and further and deeper into into training, doing something that I knew wasn't quite right what I wanted, and I was doing because I was fulfilling the expectations of my father and those people around me, I pushed myself further and further, and I eventually burnt out. I was on the burnout continuum, and I just became overrun by depression and anxiety. And it was at that point that I knew something had to change. And that's the problem, isn't it? I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people who are stuck make is it's the one that I made, is we wait for that pain and suffering of being stuck to become much bigger than the pain of taking action, right? And it was almost like I had no other choice but to actually take some action.
I definitely feel that. I was just like, it's like she's talking about me. You could have changed our names there. And I was like, it's that moment into it. It's like, it's the worst pain ever. You fed up, you're drinking yourself, you're thinking, what's the point?
Yeah.
You're going to an empty bed or whatever it is, and you're thinking, I don't feel like I can connect to anybody. This is the end of the world. And then you have a good day the next day and go, that was just a bad.
Yeah,
We,
exactly.
we, we don't think it's actually a sign that we need to change. I mean, you have a great series on stress. How does it actually affect us? I mean, because obviously we need some stress in our life to grow and adapt as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But how does stress create a situation like that causes that depression? When does it become like chronic? When does it become, oh, fuck, we need to do something?
Yeah.
How do we then start educating people to say, actually, you don't need to wait till you're about to, you're drinking yourself into oblivion or you're doing drugs or in fights and stuff like that. How do we make people realize this is good level stress? This is back up. We need to speak to somebody like yourself.
That's a really interesting question. I mean, the thing is, stress, like you said, quite rightly, is not all bad. And we've got eustress and distress. Now, eustress is a positive form of stress. It's performance enhancing. It puts us psychologically to thrive. Distress is when we get reduced productivity, our performance is suffering, our health is going in decline, and our moods and our emotions are being damaged by it. Now, the problem is with modern living is we were basically built biologically to be able to deal with acute bouts of stress.